So yesterday we have completed what is JSON and importance of JSON and why we need to use JSON. Okay. Along with that, we have completed the types that is applicable for the JSON and syntax that is applicable for the JSON and the structure that we have in a JSON. How many types? What are the two structures available in a JSON? One is JSON object, one is JSON array. Two structure. They divided the JSON content into two structure. So whatever the data representation we are doing, so that should be of a JSON object or JSON array. Okay. So for this JSON, the applicable type is key always a string, and value can be a object, value can be a array, value can be a number, value can be a boolean, value can be a null. So yesterday we have discussed all those things, but before I'm just giving you the revision about the previous topic. Okay. Then syntax that we need to follow. So data is in the name value pair. I mean to say the data we are creating, it should be in the key value pair. Okay. Then data is separated by a commas. From one pair to means one key value pair to another key value, we have to put a comma separated. Okay. Through the comma, we have to separate from one data to another data. Curly braces holds the object, square braces holds the array. Means curly braces represents the object in JSON. So square bracket represents the arrays. Means collection of data inside the single variable. Okay. So yesterday we have seen that how we can create a data with respect to the object. Okay. Let me go to the yesterday's thing. Okay. So this is what we have created, right? So this is a object starting, means JSON object starting. Come on, Dora, come on. So object starting here, and here this is for this main object. This is the key, and value we are representing in the form of array. Okay. So why array? Why array we are using here? So we all know that array means what? Whenever for a single variable we want to store multiple set of data, instead of declaring that variable different variable, let's have it in a single variable representation for the collection of data. Okay. So here we have a collection of data. Okay. Here I'm specifying information about the Harshil. I'm specifying the information about the Vihan and so on. So for this single key, we are representing other kind of data. Okay. So that's why we have defined here. So now tell me, okay, I want to define one more key and set of value. Okay. For example, one more key in the sense, I want to define my key name as a subject, and for that I want to store a collection of value. How do I store that? You just make use of a chat. Just send me the syntax. See, my key name should be subject. Okay. That key should hold value of type array. Okay. Inside that maybe name of the subject and ID of the subject. Just maintain that. Send me the syntax. 2 minutes I will give you time. Okay. So that till that let's other folks to join. Okay. Within that, you guys who are attending already now, just give me the syntax in the chat. Key name is subject. That key is holding value of type array. Inside the array.
The similar way that we return the users for the users.
Okay. Okay.
In array, Maruti, BMW, Mercedes, Honda,
Okay.
the Jaguar, all will type. They will stay in array.
Okay. Okay. So let's define the subject. Okay. I'm defining your subject. Okay. So this is my key. Okay. So I already explained you guys, right? See here, look at the syntax. See value. See, this is the JSON key. First one is okay. So this is my JSON key. This is my JSON key. Okay. So this key can hold the value of any type. Any type means available type. What are the values? Or it can hold the object, can hold the array, it can hold the string, number, boolean, null. Okay. So now we are holding array. Okay. So I'm starting with, so how to represent the array? Starting with square bracket and ending with square bracket. Okay. So I'm defining array means I'm just representing for this key the values of type array. So whenever we are defining it as an array, which means that it should hold a multiple objects. Okay, means multiple information. So for that, to define the data, I'm opening and I'm closing with a curly brace. Because JSON data representation is opening curly brace and closing curly brace. So in between that, I'm defining name of the subject. Okay, name of the subject maybe. First one is automation. Okay, done. See, I'm comma separation I'm doing with respect to a data. Okay, comma separation. Then here sub ID. Sub ID maybe 1. Okay, then I'm doing a separation with respect to a entire data now because one more data I have to define. So comma I have separated here. So here again opening curly brace. Closing curly brace. Okay, and here again I will define same story. Okay, so name API sub ID. Okay, see inside this main object we have a two keys. Both the keys also accepting the value of type array. Okay, so now maybe one more key you have. Okay, maybe one more key you have. Just simply I'm writing formation. Okay, so maybe you want to represent it to a boolean. Okay, I'm making it as a true. Okay, so one more key you want to represent maybe here. So that you can define whatever the type you want, you just define it. Okay, so this is how we are represented here. Okay, what if you want to store, okay, if you want to store inside this object, okay, see here, this is the main object, this is the key and this is the value. Okay, so inside this value you are representing each and every user information in an object because JSON means representation should be like that only. Whatever the representation you're doing should be in an object, opening curly brace, closing curly brace. Can we define array inside this object? That is the question now. Can we define array inside this object? Means for any of the variables, this is first name, last name, age is there, right? Can we define value of type array here? Yes or no?
Array inside array.
I mean to say, see, okay. So here to represent all the user information, we have started array. So inside that, for example, just assume This is the key of type online. So inside online, the value I'm defining array because see here, if I take a current class, many people are there, many folks are there here. Okay, I want to represent each and everyone's data here. So Akshit is there, Dushmant is there, Mrityunjaya is there, uh, then Rana is there, Nikhil, Naidu, okay, so on. Okay, so all the members' information I need to specify in a single variable like user. So I defining a array. So inside this, I had to separately give a complete information about the each and every user. So I'm defining with the object and I'm giving a information about the each and every user. So here I also have to specify some information. So for that, can I make use of a array? I mean to say, I have to specify hobbies of Harshil now. Okay. I have a multiple hobbies. Okay.
Yes, yes.
So
Okay.
which approach you guys tell me to follow? I mean to say, do I need
Uh,
to declare a single variable and make use of a array as a value here, or ob1 ob2 like that I can define
no, no, array, array. Inside array, you will
array?
keep your hobby.
Okay. So what I'm doing here, so this is object started and object closing here. Okay, so here also, while while speaking about a particular user or while speaking about the particular person, there may be a chance that we will be also having a multiple value for the single variable. So here also we are making use of a JSON data type. Okay, so let's specify all the objects in a single variable. Okay, so like reading, writing. Okay, Mm. like this. So now in my data, my my data contain a string, my data contain integer, my data contains a array as well. So we can also define object inside the object, which means array inside the object now. Okay, so this is the object. In this object we are defining one more array. So we can also define object inside the object as well, or else we can also define array inside the object. So anything may be possible, just you have to make sure you are following the syntax that is applicable for the value. Okay, so what are all the syntax is applicable for this value? Anything you can make use to define the data here. Okay, so clear? So clear or any doubt?
Okay, ma'am.
Hmm,
Yes,
clear.
clear.
I
Okay.
have a question. If you have large number of records, how do you add like do you add first name, last name? What do you do in this scenario?
When Jana, can you come again?
When you have like now you only have two records like first name, you have two only records. What if you have like hundreds of records? How do you
Mm-hmm.
add the information?
Hundreds of records means data means whenever you
Yes.
have a
Yeah.
data of hundreds records. Yeah, by that time, we have to make use of other methodology. If you are working in a postman, we will be having a concept like a data driven, right? At a time to create the data.
We
Okay.
will take this
So,
in this course.
uh-huh.
Okay.
Sorry.
We will take this in this course.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So by the time we have to make use of some other methodologies, okay? To create
You will teach us. You will teach
multiple.
us this methodology, right?
Yes, yeah. That comes under the performance testing, okay? I mean to say.
Okay.
So whenever we have a single record creation, okay, we will be doing it, okay?
Mhm.
So when we have a multiple data to create at a time, okay? So it should not be possible to create one single data, right? Because it is time consuming and also not a good approach to follow. So we have to create in such a way that whatever the data we have in our record, we have to create it at a time inside the server. So how we can follow. So all those things will be covering as part of the content, means course content will be covering all those things. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So this is all about the data. Okay. So how we can define just, I want you guys to make sure, just have a clear idea on the types that you are using. Okay. So how to, make use of a type, what are the types applicable, how we can define the data here. This much if you have a knowledge, that is fine with respect to a JSON data. Okay. How to create an object, how to create a array, and what are the applicable data types are available. That's it. Okay. Okay. So now we'll quickly go installation of the Postman. Okay. So if you're not having a Postman in your system, quickly install the Postman.
Where do we install it from?
Okay. And yeah. Search for the Postman download. Search for the Postman. So click on the first link. Search for the Postman download and click on first link. So here it will be giving you the Windows 64-bit. So click on this Windows 64-bit. It will download you the exe file. Just launch it and click on next. Just install it. I think it just have a few steps. After installing, just sign in. Sign in with all your information. Provide the mail ID and it will ask you to sign up. First sign up, then sign in.
It's free, right?
Yes, it's free. So after installing, just perform the sign up and sign in. Once after performing or sign in, you will be landing to the home page. Okay. So whenever you are in a home page, you'll be able to see all these options, right? Like you have a home option, you have a workspaces option, you have a API network, explore, okay? You have a setting, you have a profile information, you have a notification, okay? Go here with the menu, click on file option, click on new option. Is it done? Installation is done. Okay. So first we'll discuss about the workspace. Okay. So if you see here, we have a home, we have a workspace, we have a API network, and we have a Explore. Okay. So these are the options which is available. And when you click on the workspaces, here it is giving us a option to create a workspace. Okay. It is giving us the option to create a workspace, and if you want to search already available workspace, you can search here. So what is this create workspace? Why we have to create a workspace is the question. Okay. So before start working on the API testing, we have to create our own space. Okay. So for example, I will create a create workspace. I click on a create workspace and I will give it as a API testing, maybe 7 a.m. Okay, 7 a.m. So I will just give it as like a API testing 7 a.m. batch. Okay. So here visibility. Who can access this workspace? Okay. So if it is a personal workspace, you can select it as a personal only. You can access this. If it is a private workspace, okay, you can access and invited team members can access. Okay. Team workspace, all team members can access. Just a visibility. Okay. So based on the visibility, you can select the option here. Okay. So here, let it be for demonstration purpose, whatever it may be. Okay. Like, you can make it as a personal, you can make it as a team, you can make it as a public. Okay. So I will make it as a team. So I will click on a create workspace. So now I created a workspace. Okay. So the visibility is for the team. Okay. For the team which I'm giving access. So I created a space here. So it's like, for in this space, what are the projects we are going to work will be available in the space. Okay. So now in this space, we have to create a project. So for example, whenever you are, working on a IDE, like Eclipse and IntelliJ, like that, first you will create a space, right? You will create a workspace. Then you will, start creating the project. So similar way, here we are creating the space. Okay. So if you can see here, I have many space here. I have a 6 a.m. space. I have a 8 a.m. space. Now I created a 7 a.m. space. Okay. So if I click on the 6 a.m. space, all the projects related to 6 a.m. will open. If I click on a 8 a.m. space, all the projects related to 8 a.m. batch will be available. Okay. Cool. Which means that in maintaining a different project. So suppose you're working in a two project, so you create a complete space for the one project and another space for the one more project. So you're maintaining a space here. Okay. So now I created a API testing 7 a.m. Batch space here. So all the work related to your batch will be available in this space. So tomorrow if I'm coming and if I'm opening Postman means I will open for your batch API testing 7 a.m. space, because in this space all the work related to your batch will be available. Okay. Okay. So this is all about the workspace. Okay. So this is how we need to create the workspace. Okay. So now we have created a space for your batch. So now if you go here, so what we will do first, this Postman is also tool, right? So they are also exposing the APIs. Means they are also providing the APIs in order to perform all these actions. Means here we have a collection, here we have a workspace, here we have a environments, mock server, so on. So these are all like functionalities inside the Postman tool. Assume that you're working in a tool, okay, that is nothing but Postman. Okay, you're working in an application that is nothing but Postman. So to perform the API testing, you want, you require the APIs, right, to perform a testing through the APIs. So these Postman people are providing us the APIs. What APIs they're providing? So now we clicked on this workspace option, and we are going here to the create workspace, and we are manually entering the name, summary, visibility, everything, and we are clicking on a create workspace. So whatever we have followed now here, this we can also achieve through the API. Okay, how we can achieve through the API? Because Postman people are providing APIs to create a workspace, APIs to delete the workspace, APIs to update the workspace. Okay, so APIs to get the workspace information. All the CRUD operation we can perform on the workspace functionality or workspace resource. If you talk about the API testing API testing terminology, you can call it as the resource. Okay, so on the workspace resource, what are the CRUD operation we can perform? Like create a workspace, update a workspace, delete a workspace, and get the workspace information. All this we can achieve through the API. And here also, if you click on the collection, okay, if you click on collection, we can create a collection, we can update the collection, we can get the information about the collection, and we can delete the collection. Okay, so all the CRUD operation APIs will be provided for each and every resource which is available inside the Postman. Okay, so first we can start with the Postman APIs, then later on we'll jump into the other APIs. Okay, so go to the setting, click on Learning Center, click on Learning Center. So when you click on the Learning Center, Postman documentation will open. Okay, so in this, click on Developer Resources. Okay, so click on Postman API. So here, Postman API endpoints let you to integrate Postman in your development toolchain. Okay, so you can also combine Postman API with Newman, integrate Postman with your CI/CD workflow. Okay, so we'll see all those things by going forward. Okay, so now getting started. Okay, so what they're specifying here, Postman API documentation. Okay, so then next you will need an API key to access the Postman API. Okay, so now click on this Postman API documentation link. Okay, see all the API, all the endpoints that they are having, they are specifying here. Okay, so Postman API, if you expand this, see, observe here, we have our collections, we have our environments, we have a mock, monitor, workspaces, user, and so on. If you expand this collection, you have all the CRUD operation. I mean to say all the services available. You have a get service, you have a post service, you have a put service, you have a delete service, all the services is available. If you click on the workspace, here also all the services available. if you click on environments, all the services available. Okay, which means that inside the Postman tool, what are the functionalities we have? So what are the tasks we are performing? We can achieve it through not a manual, not only the manual interruption, through the manual we can do, along with the Postman also we can do. Okay, through the because the Postman people, they are providing us all the APIs in order to perform the scenarios for each and every functionality. Okay, so now if you go here, okay. Hmm. So click on a workspace. Click on a workspace. Maybe first you have to create a workspace. So now I created a workspace, right? So I'm going here, I'm clicking on a create workspace. Okay. Then after clicking on a create workspace, I'm giving a name of the workspace and details and creating a workspace. Instead of that, instead of doing, through the option, whatever is available inside the tool, I want to actually create a workspace through the API. Okay. So what I will do, I want to create data inside the server, create something. Okay. So we have to go for the post method. So, okay. We have to go for the post method. So click on the create workspace. Okay. So whenever you're clicking on a create workspace, see all the details they are providing in the document. We have to thoroughly read the document. We have to understand the document, what they are specifying, what they are telling as a mandatory, what they are telling as a optional, we need to follow, what is the endpoint, okay, how we need to authenticate, what technology, or what authentication type they are using. So all these things we have to consider. Okay. So this is a create workspace, and if you can see here, this is my protocol and this is my domain name. Okay. This is the protocol, this is the domain name, and this is the endpoint. So combination of protocol and domain name, what we can call this? Combination of protocol and domain name, what we can call this one, https to getpostman.com. The combination of protocol and domain name, what we can call
URL. URL.
base URL. Okay. The combination of protocol and domain name, we call it as a base URL. Okay. So now here we have a base URL and endpoint. So my endpoint is workspaces. Okay. So you all know this, right? Combination of base URL, sorry, protocol combination of protocol plus domain name is nothing but my base URL. Okay. So when I'm specifying as a base URL, this is the base URL. Okay. Combination of this is nothing but a base URL. Okay. So now in the documentation, so we have a text. So we have a base URL and endpoint. Okay. Observe carefully. Keep it here. Okay. So here we have a from here to here, it's a base URL. Okay. Because it's a combination of protocol and my domain name. Okay. Domain name is nothing but application name. This is base URL and this is my endpoint. This is my endpoint. Okay. Okay, what else is there in the document? We got to know about my URL now. Okay. Now to create a new workspace, include the following properties in the request body. Okay. So when they are telling to the request body, which means that the request body is nothing but, let me create a request here first. Okay. So when they are talking about the request body, okay, see, observe carefully, understand the tool first, okay, then it will be easy. So this is this portion, okay, this portion is like nothing but request portion, okay, this part is nothing but request part, and this part is nothing but response part. When they are specifying in the document request body, which means that they are referring this body here, okay, so this is a request body. So which means they are referring the body option of a request here. So here they are telling to write something, means to give us some information in this request body. So what is that? Okay. So following properties, they are telling me to include the following properties in the request body. So name, a string that contains the workspace name, and type, a string that contains the workspace type. The type can be personal or a team. Okay. You can include the following optional properties in the request body. Okay. I mean to say, so what they're telling is name and type is mandatory parameter. Okay. So optional parameter is description, which means along with the request, if you are sending a description or not, okay, your request will not fail. But if you are missed to send name and a type, your request will fail because it's a mandatory parameters. Okay. So okay, come down. Then they are telling that authorization means authorization, they're using a API key. Okay, here under the authorization, we have many types of authentication. See, API we have, barrier token we have, basic auth, digit auth, and auth 1, auth 2, and so on. Okay, we have a multiple type here. So in this multiple type, this Postman tool is using API key. Okay. So in this multiple types, Postman is using API. Okay. So here in the document, they're telling that authorization, they're using a API key. Okay. So how to create a API key? Again, they are giving a instruction here. And come down, this is in a body. So they are telling that this is how you need to specify inside your request body. Okay. So example also they are giving. So this is C, consider this is a request. Okay. This is my complete URL. Let's take the URL. Okay. So give the name here first for the request. Okay. Now you just leave it. Okay. Since we are not creating a collection, it is not giving me the edit option here. For now, okay, let it be the same. Later on, we'll change that. Okay. Okay. So this is my URL. And they are telling that header. Okay. So inside the header, content type should be application/JSON. Okay. Okay. Go to the header and content type is not there, right? So let's add the content type. Okay. Means we are specifying the server that we are working with, means we are sending the information of type application/JSON. Application/JSON. Okay. Okay. Then go to the document and observe what they are specifying. Then data. Okay, let me copy the data here. Create a workspace, right? So I'm going here to the body. I'm clicking on draw option. If you can see here, the body is like, we have a many form of representation of data. This is also interview question, okay? how many form you have to create a data inside the server. We have a form data form, we have a URL encoding form, we have a raw form, we have a binary file form. Okay, so we have many ways to create the data inside the server. We'll be learning. Okay, all the form we are learning by going forward. So here we are specifying it as a JSON. So let's add it here. Okay, so observe here. So JSON data started here. Okay, so which means that which represent this open curly brace, closing curly brace represent JSON data. So inside that we have a key like a workspace. For this key, the value is of type what? Values of type what?
String.
Are you sure? See, this is a key. For this key, values of type what?
Object.
Is that?
Baba, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, very good. So this is a key for the value is of type object. Okay, see here, opening curly brace and closing curly brace again here, right? So which means object representation. The value can be a object also. So we are representing the value in the form of object. Okay. Okay. So now we are creating the workspace. So if we are creating the workspace means which method, which HTTP method we need to follow?
Get.
If we are creating the workspace,
Post. When it use
yeah,
post.
post method.
Why
So
we do want to
whenever
do the post? Why do we have to do the post and we can easily just click on create workspace at the top?
sorry, we can easily create
We can click
this one.
here.
This you're
Yes,
telling?
why we need to do it through post and we can create workspace at the top, right?
This option you're telling.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, like here, so this is like again you have to, for example, okay, now you are clicking on a create workspace. Means that way you're not using a API there, okay? Just you're making use of a tool
Okay.
option you're using and you're creating, okay? So now, you're working through the APIs. Means whatever here, I have clicked on the workspace resource and I'm clicking on a create workspace and I have to give all the details and I have to click on a create workspace option. But in this case, what happens, through the API, the same scenario we are achieving through the API here.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So here, okay, workspace 7 a.m. Okay, let it be all the same thing. Okay. So now observe carefully. So before, yeah. So before creating the service here, okay. So before creating the service, so they are telling us to authenticate ourselves. So authentication is nothing but, see, for example, you are booking to watch a movie. Okay. So before you are entering to the theater, okay, you have to authenticate yourself by showing the ticket that you have, right? Otherwise, they will not allow you to go inside. Okay. So in the similar way, so here API is doing round of check here. If you have authentication key, okay, come in. Okay, let's create workspace. If you don't have authentication key, no, I don't allow you to create a workspace because you're not authorized user. Okay, this is how they follow. So you take any real-time example. Okay, maybe you're visiting a temple. Okay, so if you have a ticket means, then they will be allowing you to get inside the temple. Okay, otherwise they will not allowing you to get inside the temple. Okay, so in the similar way here also, if you have authentication information, they are allowing you to get inside the temp. Sorry, they are allowing you to create a workspace. Okay. So if you don't have a authentication information, they're not allowing you to, create a workspace because you're not an authenticated user, because they don't have a trust on anyone. Okay. If you have authentication means, which means that they is means, particular user is authenticated user, so we can allow him to create a workspace. Okay, so this is kind of a check they are doing before creating the workspace. So now what we can do, we can save this request. So after saving this request, okay, one second, Grace.
Do you need to create a collection in order to save?
Sorry, create a
Do you need
collection. Yeah,
in order to save? Yeah.
yeah. Collection is required. Let me set up my tool, which is not allowing me to send. Okay, my send option is here. Okay, so I have created the data and I am clicking on send button now. So it is not allowing me to create. See, it is not allowing me to create a space. It is throwing us the unauthorized. Okay, means 401 error. See, authentication error, invalid API key. Every request requires a valid API key to be sent. Okay, so every API requires a valid key to create a workspace. Okay, means we have to authenticate ourselves. So how to perform the authentication now? Okay, so how to perform the authentication? So they are clearly telling that they are using the API key. So now we have to generate the API key in order to authenticate API services. Okay, so now go to the setting, go to the setting, go to the here this avatar icon is there, right? Go here and click on a setting here. Okay, see, click on avatar icon and click on a setting. So here you have an option of API key. Okay, you have an option of API key. Pick yours an API key. Okay, and here you have an option to create an API key. See, if you can see here, generate API key. So for that you can also provide a expiry time. If you whatever the key you are generating, if you don't want to expire, click on a never expire API key. If you want to specify it to the particular time, means particular duration, means you want it to be available for 30 days, you want it to be available for 60 days, you want it to be available for 180 days, okay, you can select accordingly. Otherwise, if you don't want to expire itself, you can click on never expire. So click on a generate API key, provide the name. Okay, click on generate API key. It will generate you the API key. Copy it and save it somewhere, because after closing this tab, the whatever the API generated will be masked. Okay, means means we are not able to copy it again. It will be masked. Okay, means it is encrypted. After closing this window, it will get encrypted. It's not possible to copy it again. So copy it and save it somewhere now only. Okay. For safer side, I will go here. I'll go to the authorization and I will click on API key. And here I'm giving as a key name as a X-API key. And here value I will specify. Okay. So go to the document. Then if I click on, close, it's generated here. Okay. See, there's no way to open it again. It's masked now. Okay. Here you have an option to regenerate it or rename it. Reopen is not there. Okay. So we have generated the API key, and now go to the tool. So here under the authorization, API key selected, and a key name I have provided, and value I have provided. Now save the request and send the request. If I send it now, it should give me the 200. See, successfully created. After successfully creating the response, okay, under the response body, I have this response. ID created and name of the workspace which is created that it is showing. And under the header, some other information, whatever it is giving from the server. Okay. Status code is 200. Whenever we receive a status code 200, which means that successfully created, successful series. And it's, it has taken this much of time to execute the request. And size is this. Okay.
Ma'am, can you click on the body?
Yeah. Which body?
And
Your
the one
request
top,
body or response?
the request one.
Request body. Yeah.
I keep getting authentication error.
Authentication error. So create a key. Then after creating the key, go here, select the API key, and provide this authentication information.
Harshil, what is the ID in the output? That is the API key or what?
No. This is workspace ID.
Workspace ID. Okay. But the output
See,
we are
for each
getting
and every.
only ID name. Okay. Tell me. Yeah, continue, please.
Okay. So now what we are trying to create, we are trying to create a workspace.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
So for each and every workspace, there should be some unique queue information. For example, see, I have a list of workspace here. Okay.
Okay.
For example, I have a 2 workspace of a same name, rest assured
Mhm.
workspace, rest assured workspace. I want to create this first workspace. I want to delete this first rest assured workspace. I don't want to delete this one. Okay.
Okay.
So in that case, how do I specify? Because if I specify the name, it may get ambiguity and it may happen like both the workspace will delete it, but I have an important project in this second workspace.
Okay.
So how do I specify in that case? So there's a different ID generated for each and every workspace. Okay. So I will make use of this ID while I am deleting. So that will refer to the particular workspace.
Okay.
Okay. So whenever we create a resource also like this only. Okay. There should be one unique to information for the particular resource.
Okay, got it. Workspace will allow the duplicate names.
Miss in this postman they are allowing. They're not putting any filter over there. Okay. Actually, it should not happen like this. Okay. So they are allowing to create a duplicate workspace. Means they're not putting any validation over there. Means whenever, for example, whenever we are now I have created a space with a workspace 7 a.m. Okay. If I again try to create a space with the same name, the service should show me the error message saying you already have a space which is having the same name. Like that, it should show us the error message, but they are not handling that part with respect to the service. We can there is a postman community also. We can put our queries over there. See this thing you are not
But is
handling like that.
okay, got it. But once we created that workspace, we can create multiple APIs under that workspace.
Yes, you can.
Okay, got it.
Yes. See,
Arshil,
for example, here.
I
Okay, I'm
got
going
it.
to 7 a.m. workspace. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just to now we have created the 7 a.m. workspace and got a result saying, say, I am in a API testing 7 a.m. Okay. But I have created workspace 7 a.m. So I got a successful response also by the status code that we are receiving here. Okay. Which means successfully created. But I have to make sure it is giving a response is successfully created. But it is available or not in a tool that we have to make sure, right? I'm going here and I'm checking. Yes, whatever I created is available here. Okay. I'm going inside this. Let's create what are the services you want to create inside this workspace.
Okay. Can you go to that actual API when you show out you're showing that out API sorry output, right? Can you go to that first? Sorry. Yeah, here. I'm sorry, Arsil, if you are already explained about params and authorization and headers, I lost your voice at that time. Can you please repeat these? What type of different parameters available and what type of different authorization available? If you already explain, please explain. Otherwise, if you are explaining in the future, you can no problem.
Okay. This param, this
Yeah.
one, this one, this one. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So authorization is nothing but whenever we are
Uh-huh.
working on a services, okay. So
Okay.
different services will make use of a different service authorization type. Okay.
Okay.
I mean to say,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
like the postman, these postman services are using authorization type of a API key.
Okay.
Okay. If you take a
Okay.
GitHub
Okay.
services, I mean to say GitHub
Okay.
APIs, they are using a
Mm-hmm.
hard tool. Okay, so
Okay.
likewise, when you guys are working in an organization, so it depends
Mm-hmm.
how how your developer or interested to make use of a authentication type, or how your management is telling you to make use of a type. It's differ to the company to company and project to project. Okay, in our
Okay.
in like yeah, okay. So like this, any type they
Mm-hmm.
can use, but most probably everyone will use the hard tool. Okay. Most of the time they will use for the R2 only, because in this we have a
Oh,
client ID generation, client secret, all those things we have later on we are learning. Okay. So API key,
okay.
barrier token, R2. Okay. In this three only they will
Okay.
be using any of a type. Okay. So this is nothing but
Okay.
before using any of the service, we have to authenticate ourselves. Okay.
Okay.
Mom, it's
Okay.
not
Then
working with
In
me.
that
It
key name,
keeps giving me error.
yeah, Harshil, sorry to disturb. So,
Okay. Continue.
can you be connect to me at 9 a.m. as you promised me today? 9 a.m.
Sorry.
Yeah, we discussed that you are going. We will connect it. We'll connect after the class. Uh, about my expectation about the course.
Yes, yes, Nikhil. I will discuss with you. Okay. I will
Oh,
just inform the
okay.
Nazir sir. Okay. So through the Nazir sir, I will connect with you. Okay. I will discuss
Okay.
about your
What time
query.
I can expect from you, Harshil?
Immediately after this, I have a session.
Yeah.
Till 9 I will be occupied only. After the 9, I will just inform Nazir sir. Through the Nazir sir, I will connect. Yeah.
Okay.
uh,
One question I have. In test, I'm doing
Mhm.
some validation, some assertions these days. So in there,
Okay.
I'm storing one variable, one some data into some in a string actually. But I'm
Okay.
not
Mm-hmm.
going to print it in the tester console anywhere. But
Mm-hmm.
after running the test, I'm still seeing that and that output in the test results. You're getting my
In
point.
the test,
I'm
in the
I'm not
test
writing under
result.
PM test. I'm not writing it under
Okay.
PM test, but I still see that results in the test results.
Test
Um,
result means here.
yes. The
Okay.
I did write it in the PM validation. The PM dot test there is a syntax, right? To how we write the
Okay.
test action. But
Mm-hmm.
even when I didn't write anything, yeah, as
Mm-hmm.
like PM dot test, but I still see it is passed and it is printing the those string values. How can I avoid this?
So you are okay. You're giving the information in the variable that even though you're not consoling it, it's printing
Mm-hmm.
here. Is that
Yes, yes,
okay? The value is printing here.
yes.
Let's store it in a variable. No, in that case,
Yes, I
handle with
have
the.
stored it variable only, and I didn't made it to print actually, but still it is printing.
Okay.
So
Me,
how if
if
I
you
want?
can, if you can show the things how you're handling that, then
Mm,
we can get the idea. Okay, so maybe actual classes starts, right? So by the time we'll take it offline and we'll take over this. Okay.
I mean, I
Are you
have to
present
solve
this
this.
day?
I have to solve this
Oh,
today. Is there any way that I can share the because through email also fine? I can respond.
okay.
Uh,
Share the okay, I will just give you the mail ID. Share
yes.
your code. Okay. What are the snippets you're writing there?
Okay. Tell me the email ID. Madam.
Let me look into it.
Harshil, you have time, or we'll discuss tomorrow about doubts, Harshil, on today's session?
On today's session.
You have some doubts?
Yeah, you
We will
can.
discuss today.
Yeah, you, Baba, right?
Yes, Harshil.
Okay, I
Yes,
got
yes,
the
yes.
email. I'll mail you. Harshil.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
If you're okay, we'll
So we were discussing, so you were asking about the authorization.
yeah.
So
In
I hope
author,
it is
yeah,
completed.
yeah. Okay. In authorization, we are using that word 2.0, right? You said what it will do in API, Harshil. If anyone asking interview, what will do what 2.0 in API? What we need to tell in that for interview?
So hot 2.0. Okay. So this is like, so here we have to generate the client ID and client secret for the application. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So how you have to generate the client ID and client secret? First, you have to take your application, and first from your application, you have to take a hot code. Okay.
Okay.
So hot code
Okay.
is nothing but for the each and every application, you will be having a particular code for the application.
Okay.
So after generating that, you have to generate the client ID and client secret. That is one basic trick you are doing. Okay. So there,
Okay.
if you miss to, so two level of authentication basically you're performing here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
after generating the client ID and client secret and hot code, you will be generating the access
Okay.
token. So which means that
Okay.
one is you are performing, finally you're creating a token only, but without your application support means you are generating first hot code, right?
Yeah.
App code.
Okay.
So if that is
Okay.
there itself, if there is some issue, means it will not allow you to perform authentication itself for the services. Okay. So that's why everyone go towards the hot code too, because it's like a two level of authentication we are doing here. Maybe if I explain like this, it will not understand you clearly. While we are working, we will
Yeah.
be going through that. Okay, you will understand
Okay.
it clearly.
Okay.
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 So the
In
params and all, whatever you asked.
yeah.
So we have a path parameter. Maybe if you guys go through the previous workshop sessions and demo session that we are taking, you will get a clarity on this. So params is nothing but we have a path parameter and query parameter. Okay,
Okay.
path means along the path itself we are giving a resource information. Query param is nothing but on the resource we are providing some extra information.
Okay. On
Okay,
this. Okay.
so yeah, for example, okay, you are going to the Amazon. Okay,
Okay.
so under
Okay.
the Amazon you are searching for the watches. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
okay, you are clicking on a watch button. So inside that again you have a multiple brands, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you are giving on the watch resource, you are giving extra information to the resource that brand is equal to, let's take a fast track. Okay.
Okay.
So on
Okay.
the particular resource, you are giving us some extra information. So that
Okay.
comes under the query parameter. So the syntax and all I've already discussed. Okay. While we are working with the services, again we will go through that. Okay.
Okay. Got it. Query parameters means we need to give in that body level, right? It's not with your elements.
No. The query
Oh,
parameter will go along with the URL. See, for
your
example, I'm giving here query parameter. Okay.
yeah.
See
Okay.
where it is appending,
Mm-hmm.
where it's appending in the URL, right?
Your URL. Okay. Okay.
See here, this is
Then
the key and this is the
okay.
value.
Okay. Then
It's
path
going along
parameters
with
we
the
are giving along with URL only. Path parameters.
yes, yeah. Yeah, parameters all will be going along with URL only.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. In the base URL, Harshil, other than protocol and domain name, we can consider all part is a endpoint. Whatever
In
text available in that URL. Other
what?
than
I
that
didn't get you.
protocol and domain. Yeah. In
Other
that
than that
URL,
protocol and okay.
other than that protocol and domain name, there is some workspaces here, right?
Mm-hmm.
In other URL, there is a lot of text also available after that workspaces. We can consider after .com / whatever data available, we can consider that one as a base endpoint. You could type
No,
something here.
see,
You could
uh-huh.
type something on the
Yeah.
workspace. You can use slash or something,
Okay.
whatever. just for testing purpose.
So
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, we
yeah.
can consider this one
So
as yeah. Tell me.
yeah, see, first thing is this what comes under endpoint is different and path parameter is different.
Okay.
Why it is echoing? My voice is echoing, right?
For me, it's good,
Yeah.
Harshil.
Yeah. So this is what a path parameter we call.
Okay.
Why it's echoing? Okay. So see, this is the endpoint, and this is where the other
Okay.
parameter. Why it's echoing, guys? Voice is echoing, right?
My voice or your voice, Harshil?
My voice is echoing. Yeah. Okay. So this is where we call it as a path parameter. So, okay.
Okay. Okay.
So see, along with the URL, if we have other information, this we call consider it as a path parameter. Okay. So if we have along with
Okay.
that, if we have a question mark symbol and we have the other information in the URL mail, so after the question mark symbol, whatever the information we are appending, that will be coming under the query parameter.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
So apart
Okay.
from that, whatever we have, we can consider as a path parameter. Inside this path only, we are giving information to the resource.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Actually, you are preparing any notes for to providing this session, not session, entire training. You have any notes on this?
Yeah, like for the postman, anyhow, we will be working here only. So I have some other documents also that I will pass. But for the just sure, I mean to say for the automation, I have a complete note. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So, so for postman and all, I have some basic notes that I will share. When
Okay.
it comes to automation, I have a complete notes on the automation that I will be sharing once after completing the particular topic. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then what about headers, Harshil here?
Yeah.
We completed.
Headers is
Yeah. If you have time, we will discuss tomorrow, Harshil. No problem. Because,
yes. Yeah. I have a next session already
yeah, we
12
will
minutes
discuss
late.
tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I understood.
okay. So headers, like means along with the surveys, whatever the information you need to send, you have to handle with the headers. For example, content type information or API key information, all those things also we can send along with the headers. Okay. So these are all the information that is appended here from the postman. But apart from that, we need to pass a content type. At least we are instructing a server that we are using a application SAT content type here. And API key, whatever the API key we are using, that also we can specify here. So just header is nothing but like this is the header and this is the body. In the body, we are working with the data. In the header, we apart from the data, whatever the information that we need to send to the server, that we are handling here.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello. Hello, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, Dushman.
Yes, yes. I will try the put method and okay
Okay.
tomorrow. I will. Yes, yes. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Right. Okay. Okay. Then okay, I have next session. Take care, guys. Bye. Okay. If you have any queries, just let me know. Okay. In tomorrow's session. But maybe tomorrow is the end of the demo, I guess. Right? Have you got any mail?
We were getting calls only, Harshil, but we don't know tomorrow is the last for demo session. They didn't tell like that.
Tomorrow is the last. I'm telling now, right?
Okay. Okay. No
Okay.
problem. Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah.
tomorrow is the last demo. Okay.
Okay.
Because other people are waiting. Already a batch has started. Again, since they have requested to again to start a demo for some days, we continued the demo. So I think
Okay.
tomorrow will be the last demo. Okay. From
Okay.
Thursday or Monday, we're starting with the active sessions. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Then bye bye. Take care.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.